He is the supreme consciousness, the one that brings the street. Then, what does he see? Now, he has developed a new sense in the sense a new instrument. The old instrument has been modified. He had an eye. He was seeing the entire world. An animal looked an animal. A child looked as his grandchild. Another child looked as his neighbor's child. A third one looked as his father. So, he was having an eye, but that behind that eye, the illusions of names and forms and that false relationship which he has assumed, they were all there behind it. And it is those relations that are going to cause trouble tomorrow. When another fellow who is at that corner whom I never know, if something is going to happen to him, say if he falls ill, I don't care. But at the same time I find this my grandson who has just fallen down and the people are around him, I will rush like anything. So it causes you all the sufferings. It is the relationship which you assumed. There is nothing in that. It is you who assume some relationship, and as a result, now miseries are being caused and you have to have suffering. But the person who has attained the highest knowledge, his eye is now changed. It is an eye of knowledge. It is not a gross eye. It is a subtle eye. It is an eye which has developed an antenna which can catch the subtlest of waves. The subtlest of waves, the waves of his own self-vibration. There is no other antenna which can catch it. He has developed it. So that is Jnana Chakshusa, with an eye made up of knowledge. Chakshu means the eye. Jnana means the knowledge. And elsewhere, he says, Chakshuhu Jnanamayim Krutva. Make your eye full of knowledge. Don't see a tiger as a tiger. Your eyes can deceive you. Go into it deeply. Develop your deep three-dimensional eye so that you can probe it up to its depth and then find out the truth of it, whether it's a tiger or not. Don't go by what you see. It could well be an illusion. Now he has got the full knowledge. He knows that the entire world is but an illusion. You are just like you are seeing a mirage where there is no water, you are seeing the water. It looks so real to you, and at the time you are traveling in the desert and you are passing with thirst, you run. And then to your disappointment, you find that there is no water. And that's what happens with this world. So what he does is, he has got two types of approaches. The first type of approach is Swatman Yeva Akhilam Sthikam. He doesn't see the world outside him. He doesn't see the world apart from him. He says the entire world, everything that could be seen is all in him. How? When you are looking at the dream, when you are dreaming, you are seeing the entire world outside. You are seeing a train running, and you see yourself running to catch the running train. You slip and fall down. Where did it happen? It happens outside you. That's what you think. But ultimately, where is it happening? It is happening in the dreamer's mind. How can a train run in the small room, 6 meter deep, inside the Ramanashram? It's not possible. So the entire thing was only a concoction, a fabrication of the mind. It was happening inside you. You were imagining it. And similarly, this entire world looks to you and me, who are ignorant, that as if it is outside. Outside all the people are sitting here and they are all waiting to Atma Bodha. The Atma Bodha is all happening inside me. The entire thing is my own imagination. Don't think the fellow has become mad also now. So, Swatmanyeva Akhilam Sthitam. He is able to see the entire world is not outside him, it is all inside him. There is no world apart from him. If he was not there, there would be no world. So he is able to look at it in that way. The entire world is in him. It is all his creation. Swa Atmaniyeva, in his own self, Akhilam, the entire, Sthitam, whatever is standing, whatever is available there all he is able to see them inside. This is one aspect. Now there is another aspect with which he sees it. There are two attitudes with which he is looking at the world. Yekancha, Sarvamatma. As I said, he is able to see still that variety. He is able to see the animal. He is able to see the peacock. He is able to see the tree with all its twigs and with all its leaves. But then, the impression in you, the reaction in you is different. In him there is no reaction at all. Because he knows that everything external, there is nothing external to him. Everything external is an illusion, and illusion cannot impress me. In the illusion, if I know it is an illusion, if a tiger is to pounce on me, I'll be smiling. Tell a tiger, you are part of the illusion. I won't be bothered. But if it's a dream and I'm not aware of that illusion, I will run like hell, and even though I am sleeping, you can find me palpitating, and my entire body perspiring. This is badly a 2 feet of man. That's what happens. So, Ekanta Sarvamatmanam. Even though he sees them all like that, just like the daddy was seeing all the sweets only as sugar, he sees the varieties, but there are no varieties in it for him. He sees them all as Atman. This is Atman, this is Atman, this is Atman. The shapes and forms are there, no matter. He knows the ultimate truth of it. This is made up of Atman. Atman is his material cause. So he is able to see the entire thing in the form of Atma. He first saw all the things inside him. And he is also seeing all these things, as if in the illusion, because the illusion persists even after the knowledge. But the illusion doesn't affect him. Just as I said, even when the rod, after knowing it, when he put it back, the rod never became straight. Because in the law of this illusory world, what is called the refraction, so as a result of the refraction of the light, it looks bent. It is an illusion. The illusion persists, but there is no reaction of the illusion. He knows very well it is an illusion. So it leaves no mark on him. It leaves no trace, no footprints. He has got no reaction to it. Ekanta sarvamatmanam yikshate jnana chakshusha. Yikshate, he sees. He looks. Ekancha sarvam ekam atmanam yikshate. Yikshate sarvam yikshate. He sees everything. He sees all the things. How does he see all the things? Ekam atmanam. As the only Atman. There are not several Atmans. So, he sees them all, still he sees the varieties, but he knows every variety is only the Atman and nothing else. The lizard is also the sugar, the cat is also the sugar, the elephant is also the sugar, so they are all made up of sugar. And I think I was told earlier, there is a very excellent yogi in Tamil Nadu in those days, and he has written one excellent book called Tirumandiram. It has been translated by several people. A Canadian Govindan has translated, and I think there are so many people who have translated. It is one of the best books for yogis. It is called Tirumandiram. It was written by one Tirumuta. He was a great yogi. And there is one which comes that a carpenter goes around with his child to a temple. So in the temple, They have made a beautiful wooden elephant in the beginning, and the elephant is standing with a garland, welcoming all the people who are coming in. The moment the child saw it, is jumping with joy and running towards the elephant, saying, "Oh, elephant, elephant, elephant." But the father, when he nears it, he finds it is not an ordinary wood. It is an excellent wood. The like of it he has never seen, because he is a carpenter. "Oh my Lord, where from this oak? This wood has come. This is not even oak. No, it is not teak." I say, "It's something special. I don't know where from. Perhaps imported from some African, some exotic variety or what." He sees only the wood. He never saw the elephant. So, when he saw the elephant has disappeared into the wood for the father. For the son, the wood has disappeared into the elephant. This is what he has written there. Marathil marainadu mamadayani. The big elephant, the sturdy elephant, is just disappeared into the wood. That's all. It's a beautiful one. Then we go to the next. It's almost similar listing only, but again the question comes, the disciple is not satisfied. Sir, if there is only one item for the world, then he could consider it as one offering, not item. But sir, there are 1,000 items which make up the world. There is a tree, there is a water tap, there is a fan, there is a pillar, there is a mezzanine floor, and there is Bhagavan sitting over there, there is a mic, there are so many people differently garbed, of different ages, of different communities, of different countries, and with so many varieties, how could he think that they are all the same God? They are all the same Atman. So this seems to be impossible, sir. That is the objection. So again, he is reiterating his earlier stand. The point is, I had already anticipated this question. I have answered it by giving you that particular example. The example of the rod and the example of this. So as I told you, even though there are varieties of sweets, one is elephant, one is cat, the fellow sees only the sugar, because all of them have been made of sugar. So it is that point he is going to make in this. Atmai vedam jagat sarvam atmanomyam anyat na kinchana mrudo yadvat ghatadini swatmanam sarvamikshate. He knows very definitely. This is his maxim. This is not known externally. This is not a bookish maxim. He has not taken it out of the leaf of a book. He has not taken it out of the mouth of a master. This is what he is saying. What is he saying? Atmai vedam jagat sarvam. The entire world. Sarvam jagat. Jagat means the world. Sarvam means all. The entire world. Idam sarvam jagat. Idam, this which you are seeing with your eyes. Idam means this which you see. Idam means this. That means the one which you are seeing, which is before your very eyes. So idam jagat sarvam atma eva atma eva. It is only the Atman. There is no question. It is all Atman only. Whatever you are seeing, it may be a water tap, it may be a leaf, it may be a twig, it may be a peacock, it may be a rat, it may be a cat. All of them are there. You see, all this has been completely incorporated in all our scriptures and hymns. Only thing is, we repeat them often, we chant them often without even knowing the meaning. Every day morning we are repeating these things here in the Rudra. Perhaps the Indian scriptures, the Indian Vedas, has only got the impertinence, that temerity, that audacity to call God a dog. Because everything is that Brahman, is that Atman, it is that Rudra, it is that Shiva, it is that God. It's not a dog, also a God. So, there is a chapter which comes there. Namashvabhyascha vadibhyascha vo namaha. Shvabhya means I bow to all the dogs. All the dogs are in the form of God only. I bow to all the dogs. Namashvabhya. And I bow to all the leader of the dogs. Whoever is carrying them, whoever is the owner, I bow to them all because they are also the dogs. And in another place he says, Namakula lebhya karmare bhyastavo namo namak kunjite bhyo shade bhyastavo namo Namakula lebhya. He is the potter. Somewhere else he will say he is the pot. He is the pot. He is the potter. He is the wheel in which the pot is made. What is he now? He is the director of this entire cosmic drama. He is the stage. He is the script. He is the computer memory, the computer which is running the show. And he is all the actors. You, my, me, everybody. Mr. Clinton, Mr. Vajpayee, everybody. Yeltsin, everybody. It is all he. It is all he. So, I have never seen a single scripture where they could call names of God. My God. Is it possible? Pass. The one who has known the truth has absolutely got, see, the entire differences have vanished. So these Rudram and other things have been written by sages for whom all differences have vanished. They find only the one, the Atman alone. What does it matter what name you give? You call it the fan, you call it the mind, you call it the Lord, you call it the God, you call it the dog. It's all one and the same for them. There is another place there, beautifully. He is giving several names. He says, Taskaranam Pataye Namaha. Taskaranam Pataye means who is the leader of all thieves and burglars. At another place, Namha Kuluncha Nam Pataye. What is Kuluncha? Kuluncha means a highway robber who stands en route while you are travelling from Tiruvannamalai to Tirukovilu, and suddenly he produces and he says, all hands up, come on, give me all you have. And he is called the Kuluncha. So, God is everything, and then he says, Namo Vanchate Parivanchate Yunam Pataye Namaha. Namo Vanchate, he is a confidence texture. You know, there are some people who are very nicely dressed, they will come to you, sir, how are you? May I sit and may I have a cup of tea? Yes, he is sitting in the hotel, and slowly he will say, sir, well, you look so nice to me, sir, so normally I will tell it to others. I got a share. The share is in respect of an area where I know pretty well. They have now found the petrol, it's a secret. It's not yet coming. Day after tomorrow it will come in the papers. Today its value is only 1,000 rupees. But it is going to fetch you 20 lakhs, I tell you, sir. Now I am in need of money. I am prepared to sell it to you for 200 rupees. So he is touching your pocket and is worth zero. It is worth nothing. It will never come in the papers. There is no petrol. There is nothing there at all. He is called a confidence trickster, and that is God is. He is called Vanchate, the one who just takes you by the nose, just like that, who deceives you. So everything, all these things have been given as attributes to the Lord, because He alone is. The Atman alone is. So Atma Vedam Jagat Sarvam. Then again he repeats it in a different way. Atmanaha Anyat na kinchana. There is nothing apart from the Atman. Anyat means anything different, any other. Kinchana, nothing, na kinchana, nothing. That's all. Atmanaha Anyat. Other than, Anyat, other than the Atman, there is nothing at all. Atman alone is. Then, Mrido Yadvat Ghatadini Swatmanam Sarvamikshate. So naturally, the Jnani, when he sees, it doesn't matter what it is, what number of varieties they are. Something may be a mango tree, something may be a banana plant, something may be a small plant, something may be some variety of some flower plant, something will be a croutons. Doesn't matter what varieties they are. All of them are Atman only. That's all. Because he has known it thoroughly. He has seen with his internal eye and is thoroughly convinced that there is nothing but Atman. So, he is giving an example. Mrido Yadvat Ghatadini. Yadvat just like Ghatadini. The various items like the pot, the tumbler, and the cup, the plate. So we have made several items out of clay and we have kept them. But all of them are clay, nothing but clay. The pot is completely clay. You call it pot. Pot is only a name. It is only a word which I have used. It has not changed. Before it became a pot, it was clay. When once it has become a pot, still it is clay. Come on, you take out all the clay out of it. Where is your pot? Your pot will collapse. There will be nothing, there will be zero. It is made up of all clay. Nothing but clay. And when finally one day it falls down, the pot collapses. What happens? The mud goes back to the mud, the clay goes back to the dust and the dust. That's all. The final stage of all is what happens in pot. And not only that, now when you have kept several items, there is a pot made up of the clay. Out of the clay you made a big plate, it is kept in one place. You made a big glass for holding water, that is kept in another place. You made a nice teacup, it is kept in another place. But as far as the potter is concerned, he sees everything as the mud. Because it's all made up of mud. In reality, when you see that there is nothing called a cup, there is nothing called a plate, these are all simple assumed names which we have formed out of imagination and we have stuck those names to that. There is nothing called a pot, there is nothing called a plate. They are all simple, pure clay and nothing else. So mridaha, mriti means the clay. Yadvat, just like Gataditi mridaha. The pot, etc. Etc. means what? The pot, the plate, the cup, the tumbler, all these things, they are all mridaha. Mridaha means they are all made up of clay. They are all of the clay. Mridaha means of the clay. They have all been made of clay. And the clay is the only material cause. That is all. So naturally, even though there will be 1,000 varieties, all the varieties as far as she is concerned, he knows that they are all Atman and there is nothing but Atman. Now, from 49 to 53 are going to talk about a Jivan Mukta, the one who is liberated while alive. How many liberations are there? To talk that liberation while alive, then can there be liberation after when he is alive, that is after he is dead also? Yes, there can be. There may be 3 types of mukti. If you do so much of an intense sadhana while in this life, and if you got an excellent guru, and you did your sadhana excellently and perseveringly and with all the efforts, then while in this birth, while alive itself, you will taste that ultimate goal. You will become liberated. What is bondage? Bondage is the miseries, sufferings, unhappiness which all accrue to you out of the various objects in the world. it is they which are supposed to cause. You think that they are causing unhappiness to you. So, none of them will have any power to cause any unhappiness to you. You will always be happy, 100 times happy. You reach the stage. Then the stage of a superconductor, if you are to talk in the language of quantum physics. And Jivan Mukti means, Jivan means while alive. So you can know, so it is not a myth, you know, liberation is not a myth. I am liberated, I am not bound, I am free, nobody can bind me. There cannot be any unhappiness, I am always in one mood, the mood of happiness and nothing but happiness. Let people beat me, let people cut me to pieces, I am always happy. So that is the stage you come. Then, as the body still clings to him, due to the karmas of the past, due to the actions done in the past, which are called as prarabdha, so long as the body remains, all actions, all speech of the Jivan Mukta have got a tendency to become sometimes slightly distorted life. Rather, the body limits the Jivan Mukta. He is not limited in himself. He has become the unlimited. But when you look at the Jivan Mukta, you look at his body also, so as a result, it is an act, it is a reaction on you that you feel, yes, he is a Jivan Mukta, but still, you know, yesterday what he told, today what he told, there is a contradiction. When I talked to him, he said that is what it is, he is not prepared to explain it. So something wrong. All the greatest of Mahatma, Atma Maharaj, Ramana, or you may take Anandamayi Ma. Sometimes you do feel that there is a contradiction. There is no contradiction from his point of view at all. There is a contradiction because of your lack of full qualifications. So because of the lack of full qualification, so long as the body is there, you feel that his powers which are bestowed on you, whether it's a speech or whatever it is like, they are all, somewhere it has got a limitation. But then when that Jivan Mukta leaves his body, he gets into a higher state, which is called the Kaivalya Mukti, or which is called Videha Mukti. Videha means mirror or devoid of the body. The body is no longer there, so now he can give limitless. The Ramana today, he can give you limitless bounties. I do not know, in those days I had never seen Bhagavan, well I can't guarantee. But the fact remains, it would look that in those days, whatever the persons got, they were perhaps limited. Today it is unlimited. It is unlimited because in those days perhaps only people who came here got it. Today people sitting in America in a corner or New Zealand and who think of Brahmana, they get. They get in plenty all the boundary of Bhagavan. So we call it as the Videha Mukti. This is only a slightly higher state of Jivan Mukti, which has not been accepted by all. It is still a controversial situation according to many. Jivan Mukti highest, there is nothing more than that. But there is a particular, after all, these are all still concepts of the people. The one who attained the Videha Mukti didn't come back and tell you, well look here, I am now better off. I haven't heard anybody has written a letter so far. So, it is all our own concepts. That's all I can say. So a Jivan Mukta is as good as anything. From our point of view, we did not bother about these hand-split differences. That's all I would call. Yes. But there is another one which is definitely different from these two. And that is called the progressive mukti. That is called the krama mukti in Sanskrit. Krama mukti means the progressive liberation. In the progressive liberation, what happens? I got a good guru. I went on doing sadhana, but somehow due to the inadequacy of it or somehow whatever it is, some prarabdha in between, some objections, whatever it is. During my lifetime, I was unable to complete it. Rather, I was not successful in getting my Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But I was almost ready to take it. Well, I had all the qualities, I had no desires, I had left off all attachments, I was 100 times always with the Atman. All these things were there, but I haven't reached the goal. The goal is still far off. What happens to the child? Na punaravartate, na punaravartate. The highest Bible of Vedanta, known as Brahma Sutra of Bodha says, he never comes back. Similarly, the persons who have been worshipping Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, with all his matted hair, with the 3 eyes, with a trident in his hand, or Lord Vishnu with a mace, with a discus in his hand, and all these. And he was able to have complete his visions. And he even told him, well, look here, now I'll be with you at all times. Whenever you want, I will come and help you. And he actually found that whenever he was in trouble, he called him and gave him solution. True, it looks real. Yes, it is relatively real. So far as you think that your body is real, that vision is 100%. There is no doubt, but that is not the ultimate reality yet. But once you reach that stage of Saguna Brahma, or the Lord with an attribute, you need not come back to the world again to complete and reach the high stage. Not at all. All these people who could complete it, or people who have attained the stage of Sakshatkara, the Saguna Brahma, that is the realization of the God with attributes, all those people, they do not return, but they don't get moved. Then where do they go? They go to a place called the Brahmaloka. There are also the recognitions. According to the type of sadhana they have done, according to the stages they are. There is not one Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka is a general term. Under the Brahmaloka, there are several lokas. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka. This is Bhuloka. Then Bhuvarloka, Swarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. So these are all various gradations in between. And if you take into account the people with attributes, you can include therein Kailash, you can include Vaikuntha of Lord Vishnu, you can include Saket of Lord Ram, you can include the Goloka of Krishna, you can also include the Ramakrishna Loka, which have been recently discovered, like America was discovered by Columbus, by the Ramakrishna mission. So there is a Ramakrishna Loka. So we have got several lokas. Brother Shantananda may also have a 3 types. A colony called the Shantananda Loka. You know. So all these things, they all come under that is the place to which they go. But there they continue the sadhana. The sadhana is not over. Each one continues where he has left. Perhaps he gets more convenience there. The cushions are nice. He can keep a transistor by his side and go on with his sadhana. So you get all sorts of things, that beautiful divine music always. Because there are people who study for their examinations with a beautiful music on. So such people are to be more helpful there. So all these things are possible there. You get all the things. But you have to live there as long as the Creator, Brahma, the present Creator lives. That is till the entire Kalpa is over. That is till 1,004 yugas are over. The 4 yugas consisting of about 4 lakhs and odd of years. And 1,000 times that, there is about 4,000 lakhs of years later. Well, when the great deluge comes, then all the various individual souls go back into the Supreme Being. Then these people are permanently absorbed. While the rest of the people whose karmas are still left, they again come back when there is a creation after several thousands of years again. That is what the Bhagavad Gita says. So that is called the Krama Mukti. You progressively from here, you go to the higher class called the Brahma Loka, but you don't get your liberation. There you have to do your sadhana. If then you still, you see, if you are lazy and if you don't do your sadhana fully well, after the deluge you will have to be born. Be careful. So, that is called the Krama Mukti. These are all the various types of Mukti. And here in 49 he starts, I'll just take 3-4 minutes. Jivan Muktastu Tad Vidwan Purvopadhignasteje Sasachidadi Dharmatva Veje Brahmana Kitavati. So 49 to 53 is going to describe the state of a Jivan Mukta. The one who is liberated while alive, what will he like? This is a favorite subject of all the books of philosophy. There is a beautiful description of the Jivan Mukta in Viveka Chudamani, the crystal jewel of discrimination by Advaita. Similarly, there is a beautiful description of it in one of the best books called Jivan Mukti Viveka by Vidyaranya. Similarly, there is a third book called Jivan Mukta Gita. The entire book is only about Jivan Mukta. It is supposed to have been done by Dattatreya, who was the avatar of the Lord himself and who was the first of the Avadhutas, the one who was an absolutely naked state, naked in the sense, a man who had no attachments, who had nothing, where there is no raga, there is no dvita, he is the real one, not the one who has taken off his banians. No. There is a real Avadhuta, there is a real nakedness. So, here also, he is going to touch on the subject, well, it doesn't go to a great depth. And even though the word Jivan Mukta doesn't occur, there are descriptions almost of the state of Jivan Mukta in Bhagavad Gita, in the last few chapters, where there is a description of the Gunatita, the one who has transcended all the modes, all the gunas, the Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. So here he says, who is the Jivan Mukta? Jivan Mukta is one who is Vidwan. Vidwan means the one who knows the Brahman. The Brahmavid, he is called the Vidwan. Vidwan doesn't mean a scholar, it doesn't mean a learned Pandit. It means you are the one who has known the Brahman, the one who has known that ultimate supreme consciousness. Not that one who has known. Because the scripture again says, the one who has known it, he merges in it, he becomes that. Brahma Yatva Brahmaiva Bhavati. The one who knows the Brahman, he doesn't come back. It is a salt doll which goes to measure the depth of the ocean. It gets dissolved, it never comes back with its tape. The tape floats away and the salt doll gets itself merged in that. So, what he does, Purvopadi Gunasteji, it has got two interpretations. In one interpretation it means, Upadhi means that limiting adjuncts which were there. What are the limiting adjuncts? Well, one of the limiting adjuncts was the body, the other one was the mind. The body, mind, senses, complex, they were the Upadhis. And the Buddhi, the intellect. The body, mind, intellect, this complex, they were the ones. Because you identified yourself with the body and you began to say that, well, no, I am from Holland, I am a Dutch, see my skin, I am from Africa, see my skin, I am from India, I am brownish, I am blackish, I am bluish, I am yellowish. So all types of things, whatever the body had, you got it. My body had arthritis, you began to say, I am having arthritis. How can you have arthritis? It is your knees which have the arthritis. And then you say, I am having spondylitis. It is your neck which is having spondylitis, not you. You are the Atman. Atman has no neck at all. Atman cannot have any pain. It is just like the electricity. How can electricity have arthritis? How can electricity have spondylosis? Can it have? So it can't. So it is the same way. So, Purvopadi Gunasteje, he should leave off all those, he completely leaves off his connection. He He has no more any identification. He loses all his identification with all these limiting things, namely the mind and the body. The qualities of the mind doesn't occur to him. What are the qualities of the mind? The mind is happy now. The mind is unhappy tomorrow. The mind is disappointed. The mind is depressed. All these various stages happen to the mind. Nothing happens to me. I am not the mind. So he has left off all the qualities of the mind. He has nothing to do with the mind. He cannot say that I am happy, I am unhappy. This is all to the mind. You can't be happy, you can't be unhappy. You are always in the same state. So, he has to leave. So, Upadi he has left. Means he has left off the identification with the body and the mind complex and the guna, the qualities of those things. The qualities of the body is left. What are the qualities of the body? There are two. One is the Shadbhava, the other is the Shadun. What are the Shadbhavas? Shadbhavas are the various modifications which your body undergoes during its life. It is born, then it remains, then it grows, vardhate, then it undergoes so many changes. The young man, the chubby young child with all his padded cheeks, it becomes a lean, wan, old man. So the modification takes place. Parinamate, he gets transformed. Then apachiyate, decay. My ears have failed. My eye is not able to see. Only one of the eyes was able to see, that only for 10%. So the decay has started. And I am unable to walk. The doctor says the muscles have decayed. They can't walk anymore. So thus the decay has started. And what happens last? Mriyate, goes away, extinguished. The final extinction, death. But none of these things are there. The Jivanmukta has left them. He is not bothered. He has nothing to do with it. All things can happen to the body. Nothing can happen to me. I am neither born, no decay for me, no growth for me. I am what I am at all times. He lives in that. Then there are what are called the 6 waves, the 6 surges of emotion. What are those 6 surges of emotion which trouble you from time to time, which cause you miseries? It is called Shadurmi. What are the Shadurmis? Shudpipase, that is hunger. Hunger is a terrific thing. For your hunger you can do anything. It so happened in the First World War, there was a country in Russia perhaps. It was being completely sieged for a number of days. It came to the readers as the entire story later. Yet they came and had nothing to eat. And the people used to soak their shoes in water and then make it soft and then they eat it. That's what they were doing. So you don't know what the hunger can do. Similarly, pipasa, when the thirst comes. So these are all these surges of emotion which affect you when there are external attacks like body and the mind and all these things. So Shudpipase, then Sukha Dukkhe, you are getting pain, you are getting pleasure. So both these things are the surges of emotion, both can affect you. There are cases where a fellow was told, he was a beggar. Somebody went and told, look here, your grand ancestor was a king, he had left some legacy of 3 million for you. That's all over. Body failure. That's all. So happiness also could cause the greatest of miseries. So, Gauravadi Gunas Jade. So we'll deal with it later. The 2 I told. The other one is Janma Marana. The last 2, the emotion are when you are born. So you have to go through, you have to squeeze yourself, remaining inside the womb for 10 months. It's going to be an agony. And similarly when you die, it's a greater agony. That is all. Janma Marana. So we weep. We weep when we die. We weep when we are born. There is only one exception, Zoroaster. Zoroaster, the leader of the Parsis, it seems, when he was born, he was laughing. So later on his disciples asked, Sir, how is it? This is strange. A child always weeps. This is the first time you heard that you are only laughing. Yes, while I died in my previous birth, I died laughing. So I was born laughing.